Hello, friends, and welcome once again. This is Syracuse Basketball Postgame presented by Krause Health, the exclusive healthcare partner for Syracuse Athletics. My name is Brent Axe. We are coming at you live here after a win for Syracuse basketball. They take down Albany, or I guess as they prefer now, UAlbany, at the JMA Wireless Dome. Final score 102-85 for Syracuse. We've got a lot to go over in this postgame show here tonight. Looking forward to hearing from our Syracuse Sports Insiders later on here in the program. That's right, our Syracuse Sports Insiders. You know the pitch by now. Direct text message access to Uncle Brent. You can text me anytime. It is an insane time in the world of Syracuse sports. The transfer portal is open, swinging both ways. The portal taketh, the portal giveth for Syracuse football. All the comings and goings there. Reported today, Ricky Collins Jr., visiting Syracuse over the next couple of days, potentially their quarterback of the future from LSU. That is humming along. The bowl game prep for the Holiday Bowl against Washington State, and, of course, all the basketball as well. Your comments, questions, opinions, thoughts, featured exclusively here on this podcast, but anything you need to know about Syracuse sports, just shoot me a text. That's what our Syracuse Sports Insiders can do. Looking forward to hearing from them and what they had to say about this win tonight. Coming up, we got Adrian Autry to say the thing. Say the line, Bart. He did it. He said it. What did Adrian Autry say? I'll let him tell you later on in the program. I'll give you a hint. It's something I'm very fond of saying all the time. So we will get to that later on. I had a nice little chat with Kyle Cuffe in the locker room that I'll play for you guys here. Kyle Cuffe, play a little bit. Who knew? I knew, and that's why I've been saying it on this show, right? So a lot to get into with this matchup, but I think this win is kind of a matter of perspective. And I think you can say that about a lot of games, but this one in particular. I brought props tonight, okay? So you'll have to bear with me here. I didn't have any cupcakes in the house, so I improvised. So what I have here is, and I'll show our friends that are watching on YouTube. So what I have here is, that is a brownie with whipped cream. I even put some sprinkles on there, some festive sprinkles, right? So it's not a cupcake, but you get the point. What Syracuse thought they had for a while in this game, and maybe the final score still does indicate this, was their first cupcake of the year. This is for about 28 minutes. What it looked like was going to happen, what Syracuse thought they had in this game. And maybe they still did. Again, matter of perspective here. Given that nothing has gone easy for this team all year, no matter who the opponent is, from Lemoyne to Texas to tonight in this matchup against UAlbany, right? Nothing has come easy. There have been no cupcakes or improvised cupcakes for this team. And you best believe I will be crushing that after this postgame show. Okay. Another matter of perspective here. I'm going to one of the oldest cliches in the book here. Okay. As you see, I have a glass of water. This glass is half full if you believe that Syracuse looked like a basketball team tonight, which they did, which again, for many stretches of this season, they have not. The pace was there. Syracuse scored 102 points. Now, if my math is correct, and Mike Waters' math is correct on this, we were talking about this a little bit in postgame, this is the most amount of points that Syracuse has scored in regulation since 2016. You don't count Chaminade in the Maui Classic last year because they're a D2 team. So the most against a Division I team in regulation since 2016. That is of note. So that's if you think this glass is half full. You think this glass is half empty, however. If you look at the defense, you look at that Syracuse, and that's all the props we have for the show. I don't know, maybe I'll take something off the shelf and use that as an example as well. But Syracuse gave up 51 points in the second half of this game. They did win the second half by a score of 55-51, but Albany was on top in the second half for most of this game. The defense, mostly in the zone, we should note, for the last 7-8 minutes. And to Autry's credit, was not happy with it, and he took the blame for that. That's not something we've always heard from Adrian Autry. I don't have the audio of this, but his quote was, Second half was good until the last 7-8 minutes. We stopped playing. I put some people in who I thought were ready. They were not ready. That was on me. We made it a game. We shouldn't have made this a game, but we did, and I'll take the blame on that. So shout out to Autry for doing the double thumbs and pointing right at himself for that. Matter of perspective, right? Offense was humming. The offense overcame what was some pretty bad defense by Syracuse. And we know it's a flawed defensive team, but even against UAlbany, 85 points led up, 51 of that in the second half for Syracuse. A Syracuse team that put up 102 points tonight, by the way, with a total of 6 3-pointers, which is 6 more than they hit in their last game against Notre Dame. Matter of perspective, progress. They were hitting some threes, but I wouldn't call this a great 3-point shooting night. Donnie Freeman was great. Donnie Freeman had 24 points, including 4 of 4 from the 3-point line. Just a couple rebounds away, he had 8 from a double-double. Donnie Freeman didn't start this game. In one of those weird uh-oh moments before the game, Mike Waters learns that Donnie Freeman will not start but would be available. We were even wondering if he was going to go through warm-ups. It was not an injury, although Adrian Autry said after the game that the reason Freeman didn't start was he wasn't feeling well, and it was kind of a game-time decision, right? So take that for what it is. Freeman drops 24. He's the best player on the court. Not bad for a guy who did not start. Let's see, how many minutes did he end up playing? He played 23 minutes. He scored 24 points in 23 minutes. They could not guard him. He got inside, he got outside, and to see him confident in that 3-point stroke is very important because Syracuse, coming into this game, ranked about 350th in the country in 3-point shooting. Chris Bell, who was better tonight than he's been in recent games, Chris Bell, 18 points. Hit all 6 of his free throws, which has not been a bank guarantee for him at the line. Didn't hit a 3. You want to see Chris Bell hitting threes, but if Chris Bell's not going to hit threes, you want to see him score. And he had 18 points in this game. Jaquan Carlos was terrific in this game. 12 points, 12 assists. He has 19 assists in his last 2 games. We are seeing a much more confident Jaquan Carlos. Frankly, against Albany, he should be playing this well. Played that well at a certain level when he played for Hofstra. Did not play that well earlier in the year against the likes of Lemoyne and Colgate and Cornell and teams, frankly, he should be playing better against. And what he said tonight was, quote, "I think today I came in with that swagger, that bop in my step. I think I've been doing a good job with it. You know that's from the coaches having the utmost confidence in me. I really can't tell what it was these first games when I was struggling. Now that it's happened, it's something I just need to keep stacking," right? He's feeling better. He's feeling confident. That's what you need to do in these games. That's what you need to do against Albany. You need to get in the flow, find guys on the break, focus on contributing, but also take the opportunities that are there offensively. He went 6 of 7 at the free throw line. Jair Davis started this game for Donnie Freeman, 15 points. Just 2 rebounds for him. He did go 7 of 7 from the field, scoring around the bucket, 18 minutes. He got into early foul trouble, so that knocked him out in this game. Look, Syracuse shot 63%. 40 of 63 from the field. 6 3-pointers. 16 of 18 at the free throw line, which we'll get to, trust me. Rebounding, Syracuse had an edge, 38-27, but again, matter of perspective. Is this glass half full or half empty? Well, Albany had 12 offensive rebounds. They had 38 points in the paint. They matched Syracuse with 12 second-chance points. Frankly, and Albany had 9 steals in this game to Syracuse's 1. But frankly, if Albany wasn't such a poor defensive team, this could have been a lot more interesting. If Albany had hit their free throws, 11 of 19, this could have been a lot more interesting. Syracuse, 23 assists on 40 field goals, which you will take because this is a team that has just not moved the ball well. So, again, I feel like this is a matter of perspective, given that nothing has come easy for this team. If you're going to tell me they scored over 100 points, got out of there with a win, I'm going to take it because I know they're a flawed defensive team. But to have such a sustained stretch late in the game, and to Autry's credit, he admitted he put some people in the game that should not have been there, and most of that was in the zone, by the way. So he knew it. He took the hit, if you will. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. And you try and move forward to a Georgetown team. Yeah, it is 11:14 p.m. in Georgetown. Well, you know the rest. Georgetown that beat Albany by 32 points. Syracuse beat Albany 102-85, right? So matter of perspective, given where Syracuse is at coming into this game, they still have to make it interesting, though, right? They had a 24-point lead at one point. That withered down to 11. It ends up with the final margin that it was. You take the wins when you can get them. You take the wins with a team that's continuing to adjust without J.J. Starling. Carlos taking on that role. Kyle Cuffe, we'll hear from him shortly, taking on a bigger role, trying to figure things out in that backcourt. Chris Bell, he's going to get you 18 points. Again, matter of perspective. People have been really critical of Chris Bell fairly in a lot of ways, but he's not going to hit threes. He better do other things for you. And he had 18 points and 6 rebounds, by the way. If Chris Bell's giving me 18 and 6, I don't care how he got there. He's giving me 18 and 6. I'm going to take that all day. And twice on Sunday, right? Shout out to the maestro, Peter Mastorovich. 6 points, 5 rebounds in 14 minutes. That doesn't really leap off the box score, but they were better defensively when Pitar was doing his thing. It's good to see him get aggressive in the paint, couple of hard fouls in the paint, sending a message to Albany in there, and he just brings that grunt off of the bench, right? And a lot of people are like, he reminds me of Marek Dolja. He reminds me of Marek Dolja, and I just don't want to make that easy, European guy comparison, but it's hard not to. They play in not apples to apples here, but there's a certain style of play. There's a certain way they play the game that people appreciate. You know who else, speaking of the way they play the game, that you really got to appreciate is Choppa Moore, who did start tonight, by the way. So not only was Donnie Freeman out of the lineup, which brought Jair Davis into the starting lineup for, I believe, the second time this year, second or third time, Choppa Moore starts. So with JJ out, what Red Autry did against Notre Dame was Lucas Taylor started. And Lucas Taylor's having a lot of trouble finding his offensive game. He was 0 for 3 from three-point range. That's tough because you want him to find that shot. They need other three-point shooters. You don't want to discourage him from that. Red was saying after the game, not necessarily about Lucas, but you've got to take more threes as a team. Shooters shoot. Try to shoot your way out of being 350th in the country in three-point shooting. But Lucas, he's just right on that line of don't take that many shots. And tonight it was 2 of 6. He is a good defensive player. Did have some defensive lapses tonight, not going to lie, that you don't want to see. But Lucas started last game. Choppa Moore starts this game. And the worry is you don't want to put too much on a freshman's plate, but Choppa Moore is handling everything. Now, he only had 6 points. I say only in 28 minutes because we've seen Choppa go off and can really score. He did into 3 tonight. But again, matter of perspective. What I love about what I saw from Choppa Moore tonight was I know he can shoot. You know he can shoot. The way he got to the basket tonight, did you see a couple of those kind of dipsy-do, underoo shots that Choppa Moore did at the hoop to show off that skill in his game? He made some great passes in this game. You have been calling for it. I have been calling for it. Now, he started with Carlos, and Carlos has been great the last 2 games. I have no complaints about Jaquan Carlos these last 2 games. We know what the flaws are. But if you're going to – Carlos is what this game was tonight, in the sense of if you're going to give up 85 freaking points, 51 in the second half, you better be on your game offensively, and at least Syracuse showed they can do that. The offense was clicking. The ball was moving. The best compliment that I can give this team, as basic as it sounds, and I haven't been able to say that a lot this year because it's been so incomplete. The links in the chain have been missing. Tonight, they looked like a basketball team that went up and down the court. Now, defense is part of the game too. So you got to do that, right? So before we get to our Syracuse Sports Insiders, and I want to play that clip from Kyle Cuffe as well. You know what matters, guys? When you go 16 of 18 at the free throw line. And if you don't believe me, you can believe the head coach. Here's Adrian Autry.
Today was a good sign also. We made our free throws. we made our free throws, 16 for 18. Free throws matter, right? And so I was happy about that.
Let me turn up my headphones here. Did I hear him say what I thought?
Today was a good sign. Also, we made our free throws. We made our free throws, 16 for 18. Free throws matter, right? And so I was happy about that.
You can hear me laugh at the end there. I'm doing the meme, the Jack Nicholson meme. Yes, free throws matter. To steal a line from John Rothstein, it spreads. He knows. But 16 of 18. Now, the offense was flowing enough tonight. Don't you ever dare say they don't matter. But in a close game, you want 16 of 18. You want 16. There have been a few games this year where you want 16 of 18 because it cost you to not go 16 of 18. So you will take that all day long, especially Chris Bell. If Chris Bell's going to get to the line as much as he does, he had, I think, coming into this game, missed 5 free throws in a row, if I'm not mistaken. And he was hitting from the free throw line. Everybody was hitting from the free throw line. And Red Autry.
Today was a good sign. Also, we made our free throws. We made our free throws, 16 for 18. Free throws matter, right? And so I was happy about that.
Yes. You get it. I mentioned Kyle Cuffe. Had a fun conversation with him in the locker room after the game. And Kyle Cuffe had a great first half. He had 10 points, hit a couple of threes. Again, it's a team that's not hitting a lot of threes, so the more he can show, he can come in and do that, the better. Let's see, 3 of 3 shooting, hit a couple of threes, hit his free throws. You'll take that from Kyle Cuffe every day of the week. Here's what he said about the kind of the role he sees himself playing right now. Let's listen in to a little bit of Kyle Cuffe.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you, man? Did we see in the first half kind of what you can bring to the table for this team right now?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a spark off the bench. Definitely somebody who's going to come in and work hard.
How much do you need to do that with JJ out right now? What are the conversations been like with Coach about that and how you can contribute in that way?
That's always been the conversation and the contribution that I need to bring, whether JJ is here or not. I just gotta be ready, patiently wait, and just know that when I get on the court, I got to make something happen no matter what. Whether JJ's here or not, when JJ comes back, he's going to give us a spark as well, and I'm going to be there to back him up.
Coach was mentioning maybe that last 7-8 minutes of the game not ideal from his standpoint. Like, you go through a game, you go through a season, these things happen, but how do you maybe avoid that in the future?
Just staying more poised. Like, I had 2 turnovers that I could have definitely been more aggressive on my end rather than trying to be passive. I was looking to run through a play and get the play working, but nobody stopped me. I could have kept going and probably made a different play. So just staying poised, staying aggressive as well, but just being in the moment more.
What'd you think of Donnie Freeman going out there and scoring 24 and the game didn't even start?
No, I told Donnie that was impressive. I've been around a bunch of guys. I went to Kansas. I've seen a bunch of guys really get there, and he's one of those top guys that's going to get there and really contribute at next level. So I was proud of him.
Sorry to interrupt you, but to look ahead a little bit, I know some guys are new to this and kind of getting used to it, and you're relying on what people have told you about it, but when you hear about Syracuse and Georgetown, can you get into it? Yeah.
Syracuse, Georgetown, that's something that I necessarily didn't grow up on, but because my dad went to St. John, so he had other Big East rivalries, but the Syracuse-Georgetown battle, that rivalry is something different. That's a big thing for Syracuse. It's been going on since Pat Ewing was at Georgetown. So we got to come with force, no matter if it's the same or not how it was before. We got to beat Georgetown no matter what.
That's what you like to hear, right? Because you don't know how a new generation embraces the rivalry, and this is a transfer portal era in college sports, coming and going. I was encouraged. I asked, Kyle Cuffe, Carlos, Freeman, Chris Bell's been around for a couple of years, so I think he had some good things to say about it, and we'll hear much more about that going into Saturday. But it was fun to talk to the maestro about that. And when I asked him about Georgetown, he said, to paraphrase what he said, it'll be in my overheard column tomorrow. Look for that on syracuse.com on Wednesday. But he was almost like, yeah, this is kind of like a big deal, right? I mean, he doesn't know. He's walking into it fresh. By the time they tip off Saturday at 2:30, they're going to know. They're going to get the message. It's on Adrian Autry and Ed Cooley And even Ed Cooley said he didn't really appreciate it till he coached in it as the Georgetown head coach. Look, no matter how you feel about Syracuse-Georgetown, how far back you go in the rivalry, I feel like they should play every year. It's funny that Syracuse is on the bottom end of the net rankings this year. They're at 150 in the net rankings. Georgetown's right around 100. Georgetown usually hurts Syracuse's net ranking. It's the other way around this year, but every cliche applies. When they tip that up and you see those uniforms, all the juices come back. There's been a lot of close games between these two in recent years. You've got all these non-conference games, and I understand what the schedule is these days and how you have to appease the net rankings and everything, but there's always room for Georgetown. Now, can you talk me into John Wildhack even said this a couple weeks ago before Syracuse played UConn in football, that they're trying to schedule a doubleheader, Syracuse women and men playing UConn. To which I say, are you sure about that? As juicy as that sounds, like, are you sure about that? Right? Given the state of each of these programs. But next year with Kian Anthony and Sadiq White and what that program's going to be, and I would imagine that could be in a place like Madison Square Garden. Please make it Madison Square Garden and not the Barclays Center again. But I'm getting off track. But I think they get it. And I think by the time they tip off on Saturday, 2:30 tip at the Dome, they'll at least have their own story to tell for Syracuse Georgetown. But more to come on that through the week. I want to hear from the Syracuse Sports Insiders and what they had to say about this one. We'll lead off with my man Nick F., who says, I'll take triple digits on offense for sure after what we had seen so far this year. Still not a tournament team or anything close, but it's progress. From Jim B., not that Jim B., who says, take the win. Better effort tonight with improved shooting. Defense is still pretty suspect. Letting Albany score 85, not great. I still sense it's going to be a long season. From Frankie S., who says, I'm going to give Red credit. The offense came ready to roll tonight. The lineups worked. Great to see Bell get going, and Cuffe and Eddie and Donnie and Choppa. Sounds like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? And on Dasher, on Dancer. And a relatively stress-free night. Relatively stress-free, right? He still gave up 51 points in the second half to Albany. Not good. Frankie F., the 102 is nice, as you said. The 85, on the other hand, is not. Ton of work to do, but at least they looked a little better. Hopefully they can continue to make improvements. Jack H., not happy. Don't get me started on Autry's rotations tonight. Even in a win, there's still lots to complain with his coaching and decision-making. And he did take the heat for that. He admitted that. The lineup he put in late and some of the things he did. So, in a sense, he does agree with you, Jack. From John P., who says, Syracuse basketball will be back when walk-ons take the court again and blow out wins. Syracuse wins a game by more than 10 points, and they still made it interesting. Not one game will be a blowout. And Mahir will cap us off tonight from our Syracuse Sports Insider, saying 23 assists tonight, best ball movement all season, build off this win, go into Saturday with some momentum. It's, when he sent this text, 9:05 p.m. in Georgetown. Still, you know the rest. So there you have it. That's what our Syracuse Sports Insiders had to say. A little slice from them. Being a Syracuse Sports Insider means you can text me directly anytime. You guys got the news about Ricky Collins Jr. visiting. You guys have been getting the updates from the portal, recruiting visits, bowl prep, instant post-game reaction first. As soon as I got out of the locker room, the first people that hear about what I heard in the locker room were the Syracuse Sports Insiders, including the very important message from Adrian Autry.
Today was a good sign also. We made our free throws, we made our free throws, 16 for 18. Free throws matter, right? And so I was happy about that.
Yes, he was. We were all happy about that. So a matter of perspective, right? And our Syracuse Sports Insiders, you guys give me great perspective throughout these games. Love hearing from you and the roller coaster of emotions that goes into watching a Syracuse basketball game. That's what Uncle Brent's here for. Text me anytime. It's just $3.99 a month. You could try it free. You could basically try it free from now until Christmas. 2-week trial brings you to Christmas Eve if you sign up tonight. Try it out for a couple weeks. It's just $3.99 a month. Can you name a better stocking stuffer than becoming a Syracuse Sports Insider? Let me answer that for you. No, you can't. Now, I'll say this. Those chocolate oranges are pretty damn good. The chocolate Santas, like the ones that are hollow in the middle, pretty good. Lottery scratch-off tickets, pretty good. There's some good stocking stuffers out there, don't get me wrong. But being a Syracuse Sports Insider, it's different, it's new, it's fresh, and if you got a Syracuse sports fan in your life and they're not an insider, I don't know how you would literally put that in a stocking. You might have to make a little card or something. We should do that. We should make little cards for people that they can put in their stockings if they become an insider here. Just sign up. It's Christmas time. You won't regret it. We would love for you to join the Syracuse Sports Insider community, friends. 315-847-3895. Text the word orange to that number, or you can sign up at this here link, joinsubtext.com/Syracuse Sports. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat this improvised cupcake right here. A little post-game treat. But thank you for hanging with us tonight, guys. Thanks for being a part of the show. So let's see what's coming the rest of the week. I know we got one episode of Syracuse Sports coming your way. Not sure when it's going to come out, but sometime later this week, we'll have a live post-game show after Georgetown. We'll have live updates, if you will, as merits. If anything big happens in the transfer portal, Ricky Collins Jr., as I mentioned, LSU quarterback, visiting this week. Pretty confident that he is going to sign with Syracuse. We'll see. Let the process play out, if you will. Some other interesting things cooking on the football front that we're reporting out for you and checking out, and just all the comings and goings in the portal, right? So live shows, emergency pods, if you will, if they merit, out of the portal, and getting ready for the bowl game. And there's just a lot to talk about, friends, as we head down the home stretch of 2024. So being a Syracuse Sports Insider also means when that pod goes up, you get it first, and we'll keep you updated on everything that is happening there. For now, thanks for hanging with us tonight as we wrapped up a Syracuse win over Albany, or UAlbany if you prefer, 102-85. Remember, free throws matter, and we will talk to you next time here on Syracuse Basketball Postgame, presented by Krause Health, the exclusive healthcare partner for Syracuse Athletics. My name is Brent Axe. Cheers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, not cupcake right there. You guys have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you next time.